Card Kaizoku uploaded a new video! Video.
Card Kaizoku.
This video is sponsored by Nengarden. Nengarden is holding a Black Friday sale. You can get 40 to 60% off site-wide. This stacks with my promo code Card Kaizoku for an additional 5% off on top of the sale. Pre-orders for the Heavenly Yakusha playmat are opening back up, so this is the perfect time to snag one up. And again, my promo code stacks with this sale, so don't forget to use it. Just want to save y'all a couple bucks. This video is sponsored by gumgum.gg. Man, what deck should I play today? Oh, I know, I'll head over to gumgum.gg for the most up-to-date One Piece deck lists, updated daily with over 1,000 deck lists per set, including both Eastern and Western decks. Whether you're chasing the meta or hunting for rogue strategies, use gumgum.gg. This video is sponsored by Card Market, Europe's largest online marketplace for trading card games. Right, OP09 Black Purple Luffy. We had a Purple Luffy leader, we had a Black Luffy leader, now we have Purple Black. Remember when this guy used to be a red associated leader? But yeah, OP09 Luffy, it's kind of like a mix between ramp and then the removal style of the starter deck 14 Luffy, and with some extra spice of his own that separates him from the other Luffy decks. So we'll just jump right into the leader. So Monkey D. Luffy is a purple black leader with 5,000 power and 4 starting life. His leader ability reads Dawn times 1. Your characters have +1 cost. So it's similar to the starter deck 14 Luffy's effect. For 1 Dawn attached, it buffs all your characters' cost by 1 on board. Then on your turn, once per turn, when 2 or more Dawn cards are returned from your Dawn field back to your Dawn deck, you can set up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck is active and 1 is rested back out. So whenever you minus 2 Dawn, you just get it back for free. 1 even comes back as active for you to like use to play another card or attach to your leader to give that +1 cost and attack for 6k, or even like leave up for a very strong event that we're going to go over. It's the very last card there, so yeah, spoilers ahead of time. Oh wait, but for this section, I do like a close-up of the leader card, so you can't see the list yet. But yeah, we'll just look at the deck list then, right? Boom! Okay, so that's the deck list. We have 4 EB01, Mr. 2, Bond Clay, Ben Tham. 4 cost 1k power, 1k counter. On play, you can add up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck as active. Then when attacking, you can pick one of your opponent's characters. Mr. 2's base attack becomes that character's current attack. So yeah, this is just a ramp option that we can play early. If we're going second, this is a perfect card to play. If we're going first, we would like to see the Zoro card that we have in our deck, but it just gives us an option when we're going second as well. And he's also great into certain decks like Shanks and then other black decks too, right? Mr. 2 can copy their A-cost Kakomori's attack. He can become an AK swing for 4 Dawn, but we mainly just use him for the ramp, and then he also has counter too, so it's like never a bad idea to play this guy out when you have the Dawn to do it. 2 OP05 Monkey D. Luffy, 10 cost, 12k power. On play, if you Dawn minus 10, you can place all your characters other than this character on your board back to the bottom of your deck in any order. And then after this turn, you take another turn. Also, activate main once per turn. If you pay 1 Dawn, you can ramp 1 active Dawn. So this Luffy is especially synergistic with our deck, because how his minus 10 Dawn interacts with our leader ability is that, yeah, your minus 10 Dawn, you actually get 2 of it back with our leader ability. 1 rested and 1 active. With that active 1, you can pay for that second part of this Luffy's ability to ramp 1 more active Dawn. Then you can swing with your leader for 6 after that. Then yeah, you'll take your second turn, you'll be at 5 Dawn after that. You can ramp with this guy again, go to 6. You have 5 Dawn to work with, so you can swing with your leader for 10, or like play a blocker, or swing 16 with the Luffy if you want to. That's also a thing you can do. Or swing 17 with the Luffy, or swing 17 with the 10 cost Luffy. That's something you can do as well. And yeah, that does mean that the turn after that, if your opponent isn't dead by this point, you do go back to like 8 Dawn, so you're able to play your Kakomorias and your late game and stuff like that. But usually you play this guy out as like a finisher. By utilizing that second extra turn, you get to apply a bunch of hits at your opponent that they can't really deal with. But you do want to attack with all your characters on board first, because yeah, everything gets bottom decked when you play this guy. So attack with all your characters, play this Luffy, attack with your leader for 6k, and then second turn you can do like 10, 12, something like that. Usually that'll end the game if your opponent's at like 1 life. But we only run it as a 2 of, because yeah, it can brick you. You don't want to play like more than 2 of these in one match. Usually you don't get to. I guess if it's like a long enough game, you can, but because the frequency of this card could like brick you early on because it doesn't have any counter value, 2 felt like a good option. 2 OP07 Sanji, 6 cost, 6k power, 2k counter. And then if you have 2 or fewer Dawn cards than your opponent, he becomes a 3 cost in your hand, and then he has blocker. So yeah, if you're running the purple straw hat package, you have to run this guy. In some capacity, we run him as a 2 of. It's just an emergency blocker if we need it, and If you play like this 10 cost Luffy that makes you minus 10 Don, you'll definitely be 2 or less Don less than your opponent unless they played one of their own. So yeah, Sanji can be a 3 cost 6k blocker whenever you need it, more often than you would think, but at the end of the day, it's an emergency 6 cost blocker and also a 2k counter. 4 OP08 Black Maria, 3 cost 2k power, 2k counter. Activate main once per turn. If you have no other Black Maria on field, you can add up to 5 Dawn cards when your Dawn deck is rested. Then at the end of your turn, you return Dawn cards from your field back to your Dawn deck until you have the equal amount as your opponent's number of Dawn. So yes, returning that Dawn at the end of your turn until it matches your opponent's Dawn does count for that leader effect for Luffy, right? It is 2 or more Dawn being returned. So you actually do get a ramp 1 rested back and 1 active on top of that. So if you do miss your Zoro ramp on your 3 Dawn turn, you can play Black Maria and still ramp that way. And then one thing to look out for is that you want to make sure Black Maria is your first ramp of the game. If you do a Black Maria ramp after a Zoro that you played or a Mr. 2 that you played, since you have to match your opponent's Dawn at the end of your turn, it might actually undo the ramping you do with those 2 other characters. So again, if Black Maria is your first ramp of the game, you're good. But if you've already ramped with Mr. 2 or the Zoro from an earlier turn, and you're trying to play like on curve ramping up, Black Maria will potentially undo that. 4 OP09 Sanji, 7 cost 7k power, 1k counter. On play, you can return up to 1 or more of your Dawn cards back to your Dawn deck. If you do this, this character gains Rush, and then he can rest one of your opponent's 6 cost or lower characters. So in any other purple deck, you only want to pick 1 Dawn for that returning Dawn part, but in a purple black Luffy deck, you want to pick 2. Because yeah, you get that Dawn back essentially for free, and you get 1 Dawn active back that you can use with the Sanji. It's just something nice to play pretty early on. If we can ramp, we can get to 7 on our like 3rd turn. So you play out Sanji, you can rest one of your opponent's key targets and then attack 7k or 8k into it. It's great at starving your opponent against decks that like run out of steam. If you get rid of all the characters on board, Sanji is a great option for that. And the great thing about him is that even though he has Rush, he also has counter too, right? So it's great to even have in hand. 4 OP09 Trafalgar Law, 1 cost 2k power, 1k counter. On play, look at the top 4 cards of your deck for a Straw Hat or a Heart Pirates type card that's 2 cost or more. Then you can add it to your hand. So yeah, it's a Finicky Searcher. It's 1 cost, so it's flexible to play. But it's Straw Hat and Heart Pirates only. But yeah, 2 types is pretty flexible, but it has to be a 2 cost or more. So this Law cannot find our Gum Gum Giants, unfortunately, but everything else in the deck is fair game. 4 OP09 Frankie, 4 cost 5k power, 1k counter, blocker, and then on play, if you Dawn -2, you discard 1 card from your hand, and then you can draw 2 cards. This is like the bread and butter for this deck. This is like the card that prolongs your games and then helps you find lethals. Because the 2 Dawn that you return with Frankie, you get it back for free anyway. So there's like literally no downsides to playing Frankie, unless you're playing like the second one for the turn. But even then, like if you're at 10 Dawn, the first Frankie will refund you back to 10 Dawn, and then the second Frankie will bring you down to 8, right? So next turn you ramp to 10 anyway. So double Frankie is no issue for this kind of deck. And yeah, it cycles a card out of your hand and then draws 2. This is a card that is especially broken when you combo it with the 8 cost Gecko Moria, because that's something you can play Gecko Moria into Frankie and you get the Dawn back for free. So you get a card draw and a blocker and then like 2 bodies, right? And yeah, this just helps you filter your hand out to find answers too. If you need like a finisher, you can find that 10 cost Luffy we saw earlier, or the Kaido, or the Gecko Morias in our deck. If you need defensive options, you can find a 2k or Gum Gum Giant. So yeah, that's why he's so flexible. He fixes your hand, and then he himself, he's 5k, right? So he can attack as well. 2 OP09 Beppo, 2 cost 2k power, 2k counter, 2/2. When Dawn cards are returned back to your Dawn deck, your leader can get plus 1k power during the turn. This is just like a cheeky way to get plus 1k on your leader to attack for 6. It is searchable by the Law that we saw earlier, the 1 cost Law, and it is comboable by the Gecko Moria. So if we did play Gecko Moria, we picked Frankie for the 4 cost and then Beppo for the 2 cost portion. Since it happens simultaneously, the Beppo does trigger off the Frankies minus Dawn, and then you can buff your leader to 6. So that way you can attack with your leader for 6, and you'll have, what, like 3 Dawn left over that you can use, because you get 1 active back from your leader ability. So it could be a 9k hit from your leader, if you want it to be, while developing a 9k body and then a blocker, right? But since I did want to run only 12 2k counters, I had to make it share a spot with the Sanji, because I do think Black Maria and Usohachi are like non-negotiable in this deck. 4 OP09 Roronoa Zoro, 3 cost 5k power. On play, you may return 1 or more Dawn cards from your Dawn field back to your Dawn deck, and then you can set up to 1 Dawn from your Dawn deck is active. So this is like your early game ramp that helps set you for like the rest of your curve, right? You want to find your Zoros if you're going first for sure, because it does help you curve into your 5 cost Sanji like perfectly, right? That's the time you want to play it the most. And yeah, do note that if you play the Zoro out on your 3 Dawn turn, if you return 2 Dawn, you'll get 1 active back from your leader, 1 rested back from your leader, and then 1 active from the Zoro. So you actually have 2 Dawn to use. That allows you to swing for 7k on your 3 Dawn turn. Or if you have like a Law in hand, you could play that to search as well. And just on any other turn that you play him, if you already exhausted your leader ability, you could just play him out for 3 and then return 1 Dawn and then get it back as active, right? It refreshes 1 for you. That'll leave you having Dawn up for Gum Gum Giant or a Law Searcher, or even just attacking with your leader for 6. 4 starter deck 4 Kaido, 9 cost 10k power. On play, if you Dawn -5, you can KO to one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 6 or less, and then this character gains Rush during this turn. So Kaido used to be like the go-to card in purple Luffy, but now he got a new option in that 9 cost Luffy. But I think Kaido fits a lot better in this purple black Luffy deck, because yeah, not only does he have Rush and the same stat line as that Luffy, but he also kills something on play. The only detriment was that, yeah, -5 Dawn is really steep. That's half of your full amount of Dawn for the turn. But in a purple black Luffy deck, that cost is a little mitigated, right? Because you get 2 of it back, so it's only -3 Dawn in the end. And then you naturally ramp 2 Dawn the next turn, so you're only losing 1 Dawn of curve this way. That does mean that if you're at 10 Dawn, you can play 9 cost Kaido. Next turn you'll be at 9 Dawn, you could chain it to a second 9 cost Kaido. This is actually quite strong to do if you have it in hand. And if your opponent has like a bunch of 6 costs that you can kill, this is also great for that. And yeah, Kaido is just good in that he can 2 for 1, right? He can kill something that's not rested and then attack 10k rush into something that is rested. So it's a very great board equalizer, and even if you're not using it for board equalization, it's a 10k rush attacker still at the end of the day. And then yeah, he's able to be protected really well. Not only is he a high stat line, so your opponent can't really attack into him, but if they did happen to commit Dawn to attack into this 10k body, the fact that our leader ability gives us a Dawn back as active from that Dawn minusing, we have access to Gum Gum Giant to protect him. So I think Kaido fits really perfectly in a purple black Luffy deck. I know some don't run him, but I think he has to be a 4 of. 4 starter deck 18 Usohachi, 3 cost 2k power, 2k counter. Every purple deck that can run this will run this, because what he does is on play, if you have 8 or more Dawn cards, you can rest up to one of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. Yeah, 3 Dawn to rest a 5 drop, and then if it's a blocker, you bypass it, you can go for lethal that way. Or if it's like a key target you want to kill, you always have Usohachi as a way to like control their board. Most purple decks ramp, so you will naturally be able to meet this criteria anyway. It's only awkward for decks like Reiju who like to go down, minusing Dawn a lot, but for all intents and purposes, yeah, this is like one of the best purple 2k counters. 4 OP06 Gecko Moria, 8 cost 9k power. Yes, we're a black deck, so we get to run Gecko Moria. And why he's so broken is that on play, you can choose up to a 4 cost or less and a 2 cost or less from your discard. Play one of them out as active and the other one is rested. So it's 3 bodies for 8 Dawn, and he's also a sizable attacker himself at 9k. As we mentioned earlier, Frankie into either a Beppo or like a Searcher Law is your go-to combo for this. Frankie will draw you a card and so will the Law. Or if you need like some attacking stat lines, you can play the Beppo out. And yeah, just chaining back-to-back Gecko Morias and playing the Frankies earlier on, you're just able to chump so many attacks, draw so many cards, you just outvalue your opponent. When you can get these back-to-back to back-to-back to back-to-back to back. The only caveat with a Gecko Moria combo in this deck is that, yeah, every other black deck uses Gecko Moria to like KO something. This deck uses it purely for defensive and then like resource gaining purposes. 4 starter deck 14 Sanji, 5 cost 6k power. On play, if you have a cost 6 or greater character in play, you can KO to one of your opponent's cost 5 or lower characters. So just like in the starter deck 14 Luffy deck, on your 6th Dawn turn, if you attach Dawn to your leader, if you play the Sanji out, it buffs him to a 6 cost, because that's what our leader ability does with 1 Dawn attached. So he himself meets his own criteria that lets you KO a 5 cost on board. So it's 5 Dawn to KO a 5 cost. That is great efficiency, because he is also a 6k stat line body that you can play, that you can attack with afterwards. So this is what I mean when I say that we're like kind of like a hybrid between purple Luffy and black Luffy. We get some of the cool combos that both decks can do, but we also have our own identity with the Dawn minus part. 1 OP09 Gum Gum Lightning. It's 2 costs on main. If you Dawn -2, you can kill to one of your opponent's 6,000 power or less characters, and then as a trigger, you can ramp 1 active Dawn. This is just a filler card. I just wanted to try it out. This could easily be replaced with something else, but sometimes I just want to have a 2 Dawn event to kill something that normally I wouldn't be able to kill, right? Like if your opponent had like a Lucky Roo on board and you haven't played a character yet, if you have 2 Dawn to spare, you can kill it, and then you'll get one of those Dawn back as active and one is rested, so you can play whatever else that you can play for the rest of your turn and not have it die to the Lucky Roos on KO effect. But since we're running it as a 1-of, it's not like a go-to strategy for us. And lastly, we have 4 Gum Gum Giant. Every purple deck's kind of like Guardian Angel card at the moment. So 1 Dawn on counter, if you Dawn -2, you can trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader has the Straw Hat type, give it to one of your leaders or characters plus 4,000 power for this battle, then draw 2 cards. So yeah, I gone over it in my purple Luffy video, in my red purple Luffy video, but I guess I'll reiterate again. This is like one of the best cards in OP09. It's just so much defensive value packed into a 1 Dawn package. So the fact that it's Dawn -2 just means that we stay at the same Dawn for the next turn. It does not interact with our leader ability, because that only works on our turn, right? Countering's on your opponent's turn, so do take note of that. But still, yeah, if you're at 10 Dawn already, or even if you're at 8 Dawn, if you're Dawn -2, you just go back to 8 or 10 the turn after, which is no big deal for us because a lot of our cards are already at that range, and we're ramping to that point, so it's no big deal at all to stay at 8 for an additional turn. And yeah, you're countering for 4k for 1 Dawn, and then it also lets you cycle out all the bricks in your hand, because we do run quite a bit of no counter cards. So you get rid of a no counter card, counter for 4, you potentially draw 2 more cards that could be counter. So in a perfect scenario, it's like 1 Dawn to counter for 8k and get rid of a brick in your hand, and that's why it's so great. And the fact that our leader ability always gives us like an active Dawn when we return 2 Dawn means that we'll always have like a Dawn active for Gum Gum Giant if we need it, while also still playing things on curve and not having to worry about leaving a Dawn up, because we'll have it up eventually anyway. For starting hands, I like to look for Mr. 2, Black Maria, Trafalgar Law, Frankie, Zoro, and Sanji. So you'll want Law just to help you fill out whatever you are missing in your curve. If you're missing 2k counters, you find that. If you're missing what you need to play on your second or third turn, you find that with your Law. And then you want at least 1 ramp option. So Black Maria, Mr. 2, or Zoro. Zoro and Black Maria are things you can do going first. And again, as we mentioned, you want a Black Maria ramp if it's your first ramp of the game only, or else you're undoing the other ramp that you did with your other characters. And then Mr. 2 is a solid option going second. And then either of these pathways takes you to 6 Dawn on your third turn. So you can play the Sanji out, kill whatever your opponent just played. So you'll have potentially 2 characters out, right? A Zoro or Mr. 2 and a Sanji, and your opponent would have had theirs die. And then Frankie is also a good option early on, or at any point in the game actually, because he's basically no detriment to play because of the Dawn -2 being able to be recovered from our leader ability. So just play him to draw a card. And you want him to like die early too, because once you get your Gecko Morias, you'll be able to replay Frankie over and over. So don't even be like afraid to counter with them as well. Here are some cards to consider. So if you need a chump blocker option, we have Shiki from OP06 or Robin from OP09. They're both 2-cost blockers. Robin is more generic in that she can be used at any point in the game. You can play her out early too. Shiki, you kind of want to wait until you're at 8 or more Dawn, because he does cycle 1 card out of your hand for you. But it's not like imperative to get that cycle off. It's just extra value if you want it. The advantage of Robin is that, yeah, you can even play it on your early turns and not have to worry about missing out on the cycle value. And it's also searchable in our deck. Law can find this Robin. And this is more of tech against 2 decks in particular. It's Shanks and then Blackbeard. Blackbeard can cancel out all of our on plays. That's kind of what makes our deck so good. So if you did want like a blocker to survive another turn that can't be like negated by Blackbeard, Robin is a way to achieve that. And then yeah, Shanks just has no removal for like 2-cost blockers, so you can't block one of their like big 10-cost character swings for just 2 Dawn. They don't really have a way to get around it. And then Top Knot is an alternative to the Gum Gum Lightning we saw earlier. It's a 2 Dawn event as well, and then on main Dawn -2, you can return one of your opponent's characters with the cost of 4 or less to the bottom of their deck. So instead of KOing a 6k power character, you can bottom deck a 4 cost. I guess it just depends if you care about cost or power, but I only ran that Gum Gum Lightning as a 1-of anyway. But if you did feel like you need more event removal, you could run any combination of Gum Gum Lightning or Top Knot. It's just that Gum Gum Lightning is searchable by the law, while Top Knot is not. And then I think Kaido would be an interesting option as well. Again, for the Blackbeard matchup, because he cancels all your on plays. Since we have access to Kaido, since we're half black, we can still KO stuff without having to use on plays for that. Because what Kaido does is he's 9-cost 9k power and then activate main once per turn. If you discard a card from your hand, and if this character was played this turn, you can trash one of your opponent's 7-cost or less characters, and then your opponent discards 1 card from the hand. So it's a way to still KO something, but bypass like the on-play blocking from your opponent's Marshall D Teach leader ability, right? Because for all intents and purposes, this effect is an on-play, but it's just like worded in a way that it's an activate main. And with Blackbeard being like our hardest matchup, I could see merit in running Kaidos as a top end. So basically, your curve for this deck is, for me personally, I prefer going first. So you play Law on your first turn, find whatever you're missing. In your 3-Dawn turn, if you have Black Maria or Zoro, you play them out, so Black Maria will ramp you to 4 at the end of your turn. Soul will Zoro, but Zoro lets you attack for 7k afterwards. And that leads you into your next turn when you're at 6 Dawn. So that's when you put Dawn on leader and you play out this Sanji. You can KO one of their 5-drops, swing with your leader for 6. That naturally leads you to your 8 Dawn turn. So at this point, if you could have, you would have countered with a Frankie in your hand to put it in your discard if you're anticipating a Gecko Mario turn. Because on your 8 Dawn turn, you can play this guy out. Frankie comes out, you -2 Dawn, and then your leader brings it back to you for free. And then potentially if you had countered with like a Law or like a Beppo earlier on, you could play that out too. But even if it's just a Frankie, I feel like it's worth it. So Gecko and Frankie on your 8 Dawn turn, and after that you go to 10. So you have access to Kaido or like another Gecko Moria, or even like your 10 cost Luffy if you like really want like a 12k attacker that your opponent can't deal with for a few turns. But he will set you back to like 6 Dawn on your opponent's turn that they can finally take after your double turn. So yeah, that's pretty much the purple black Luffy deck in a nutshell. There's a couple variations of this deck running around. I am aware of that. I know there's a version that is more like Animal Kingdom focused, and it runs like that Kaido and Linden package with the Sabo combo. I personally don't like it. It's like very unreliable. It's very inconsistent. So I like this version of it. It's like a nice hybrid of purple Luffy and Starter Deck 14 Luffy. And yeah, this deck is really good actually. It's, I feel like, just as strong as purple Luffy, but just less consistent. Because with purple Luffy, you have that ramp guaranteed in your leader ability. With this deck, you can sometimes miss your Mr. 2s and Zoros or your Black Marias. And if you're not finding your Frankies, it's hard to like generate value from your Gecko Moria. So in that way, yeah, it's less consistent than purple Luffy at doing what purple Luffy does. And it's less consistent than Starter Deck 14 Luffy and doing what Starter Deck 14 Luffy does. It's like that weird middle ground where you're trying to have the best of both worlds, but with the downside of not being able to consistently do that every game. Does that make sense? It made sense in my head, so hopefully it makes sense to you. And yeah, that's it for the video. I'm going to be including gameplay footage with this deck at the end of this deck breakdown portion. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching. If you're not already subscribed, please give my channel a look over, and if you like it, please subscribe. I have deck breakdowns, I have a bunch of other type of videos for the One Piece card game as well, so check that out. And I hope you're excited to play this leader as I am. Okay, enjoy the gameplay. Alright, Nika versus Doflamingo. Let's see how long we can survive without dying here. This is a perfect hand to go against this kind of deck. We have the Sanji for like a mid-game removal. Until we find our Gecko Morias, I think we kind of need them a lot. We'll pass. So Zoro into Sanji. That's the curve we have set up. Okay, they play Buggy. So they're going to attack for 8 next turn and leader ability, I'm pretty sure. Or they could Jinbei, I guess, for 4 Dawn. Either way, I don't care. We'll play out Zoro. Return and then gain and then 7 at lead. They take, we'll pass. 8 at me, we'll take, I'm thinking. Right, or else why would he play Buggy? He plays Teach, yeah, I guess it's still 8 at me. Okay, so 8 at me, I will take this. And Weevil comes out, draws him a card, that's okay. So I'm going to kill it with Sanji. I guess we could try to burn some cards from him. So we'll do like 6 into him, he counters, and then we'll kill it in the end. I just want to starve him a little. So 6. If he dies from this, I just kill the Teach instead. Okay, the counter 1. How about Zoro attacks leader for 5? He takes it, right? And we'll play Sanji and kill Weevil. Pass. Okay, we hit 8 next turn. Jinbei into Boa. So it's another leader 7 at me. They could do like 8, right? No, 9 because of this Teach. They might be attacking my face and not my Zoro. Oh, he's not going to use the Teach effect? Yeah, I guess that would be 1 card less in his hand too. And he doesn't need the Dawn for it, I guess. Okay, does 7 into Zoro. Out comes the Law. Well, he only has 1 thing rested, so I think I let him die. Okay, does bounce the Law back. We have to bottom deck a card. How about you? Okay, ooh, I get Gum Gum Lightning. I can just kill Boa. So we'll do that. Oh, let's play Law first. Maybe we'll get something better to play. Like the Sanji. Is this better? Not really. Is it? Well, we have to take him regardless. So if I play that out, I can do like 8k into Boa. And I keep a 7k at the end, right? If I do Gum Gum Lightning, I can play Mr. 2, and that sets me up for next turn. Nah, I think I do Sanji. Return to Dawn. Have Boa, yes. We'll do 8k into Boa. They have the counter for this. Oh, she died. We have 5 at lead. So I do hit 10 next turn. he doesn't kill my board, I could try to go for like a big Luffy turn. So he countered 1, how about 6? Counters 2, we'll pass. But yeah, he only has 1 attacker out, so not too scared still. I have 3 life. I've been able to control his board to some degree at the moment. So they play Perona to rearrange top 5. Here's what the rest of his cards do. I keep saying I have to like hover over the card so that like new players can read what each card does, but I don't know. As I'm like thinking and trying to play at the same time, it just like something I disregard or I gloss over it. So apologies. I just did it right now though. So if you didn't see what you wanted to see, you can pause it real quick. Okay, 5 from Jinbei. We'll counter 1. Okay, 2 on lead. So he's gonna shoot something out. What's he gonna do for 5 Dawn? Okay, 7 at Sanji. Only 7. This can let him bounce the Jinbei back to hand, as well as the Buggy. We'll counter 2k this. Replays out the Jinbei into a Boa. 1 rested Dawn they could use, I guess, for fun. Okay, with the blocker, yeah, I don't feel as confident about the Luffy play, but this Kaido play is a lot better now. I can do both of these, but that's a lot of Dawn minusing. We'll just do the Kaido first. The more important one. Pop the Boa, gain 2 back. Yeah, I can Lightning, but then I'd be at 5 Dawn. 7 Dawn next turn. Which isn't the worst thing, right? Because they're not going to be 10 anyway. Let's starve a little. 5 at Law. I think he just dies though, right? Yeah. We'll do 6 LE. Yeah, I'm gonna Gum Giant. Or Gum Lightning to kill Jinbei. Counters 2. How about another 7? Takes. 10. Takes. Well, Lightning after his trigger resolves, whatever it is. It's a Raging Tiger that got rid of my Sanji. Okay. Then we will Lightning the Jinbei and pass. Right, if I was potentially gonna hit 10 next turn, I would have not done that, but since I was gonna hit 9, so I'll just remove as many threats on his board as possible. And then I think with these characters, like he'll kill 1 thing max and then I just go for game. I split with whatever lives. Okay, so Perona, let's rearrange top 5 again. If they do 4 Dawn, yeah, I cannot stop this against Sanji, but that means that my Kaido is safe. He needs a blocker. He does cheat out a Weevil with the leader ability, so it draws him a card. Hopefully he found a blocker Boa, or else this is my game to take. I think. Right, what is this, like 12-13? I don't know, he could have a lot of counter in hand actually. So maybe I'm not out of it just yet. Okay, so Jinbei doesn't cheat anything out and passes. Oh, I don't have 10 Dawn. So I can do 11-11. He just concedes. He would have lived actually, right? So I would have done 11-11. He would have had 2, 4, 6, 7k counter. That would have been enough to stop it. Just I don't know if he can win on the turn after that. But yeah, he's a give-upper. So I guess we'll never see how that would have been played out. Maybe I would have like made a mistake and misplayed or something, but he didn't want to go down that path. I guess some people just don't want to practice. Bye. We have Nika versus Purple Luffy. We'll go first. Okay, this is good. I just see my geckos now. And a Sanji, 5-cost Sanji would be great too if I could find it. Play Law. We don't find it, but let's take some 2Ks because we don't have any. So he's gonna pass. Oh, he plays Law. Dang it. Why you have to copy me? He finds a Taro. That's better than what I have. Kinda. Okay, I get a Gum Giant. So play Zoro, and then we'll ramp. Then 7 at later. You take it. You take it. We'll pass. And he's gonna ramp. 5 at me. I mean, we'll counter 1 because we kind of need Frankie's in the discard anyway, eventually. Okay, does ramp to 5. Plays a Kid out. I get 10 cost Luffy. So we'll play out Frankie. Dang, if I had a Sanji this turn, it'd be like huge, pivotal. But we don't, so we'll play Frankie. Return 2 cards, discard. Shoot. I guess the Gum Giant. Right, because I want Sanji for next turn and then the 10 cost Luffy for the turn after that. Okay, so I can do 6-7, so I will do 6-7. 6 counters 2, it will do 7 from leader. He can block counter 2. He do that. Okay, so Taro's coming out. And then, what is it, 6 from leader? He can ramp 2 and do like 7 from leader. He does 5 from leader. We'll counter that. I think I have to aggro him down or force him to attack with the kid. Now, if I play Sanji, that means I have to depend on top decks for Gecko Moria. Well, they play Sanji instead. Okay, so he can attack for 8. Into Frankie, I guess? 7 into Zoro. Why would you leave my Frankie alive? Because he can do 7 with the other guy to kill. Sure. Huh. Is my own Sanji a response to this board? I don't think so. We'll play Frankie for now. Oh, actually, the next turn I could do like a Nika play. Yeah. I think I just try to get him low. I'm gonna try to aggro him down. So Sanji out. Return 2 Dawn. Tap this Law for fun. We'll do 2 into him. Okay, he died. So 7 into the face. Counters 3. Okay, how about another 7 into your face? Takes it. We'll pass. Dang. Since he didn't ramp too much this game, he was pretty healthy. Okay, so 9 at my Sanji. If I protect him, he needs to commit more Dawn. So we'll do it. And if he commits more Dawn, he doesn't play anything, which is fine. And if he goes for the Luffy Taro, I get to attack with him next turn with my 10 cost Luffy. So out comes Sangoro. I guess if he does 7 with the blocker, I can't stop that because I don't have counter. He does ramp too. Okay, 7 from Luffy leader. Dang, if I had 1k counter, that would have been sweet. Passes to me. I get this guy a little too late, Sanji. Yeah, asshole. Well, I'm at 4 life, so I'm a little confident that I can play this Luffy out scot-free. Return these, gain, ramp. Do 6 at lead. Okay, I don't think I'm going to finish, but I'll at least get rid of some characters on board. We'll take our second turn. Ramp again. Zoro? Zoro, I mean. And then we could play Mr. 2. Yeah, he has a blocker, so I can't win this turn anyway. I don't think he's going to finish me, though, because I have 4 life, as I said. So we'll do 12 at lead. He'll block. Right? I die to his own 10 cost Luffy if he has one, but he probably doesn't, so he does. Block that. So it's this order, right? Mr. Zoro? What'd I say, Mr.? And then we can Mr. 2 after. Then we'll do 6 at leader. Okay, he does counter 2. We'll pass. I probably should have left 1 Dawn up for a Gum Gum Giant, huh? Yeah, I don't know why I don't think about that until after the fact. Okay, they play Zoro, so I feel a little safer, right? It's not a rush option. They have 1 Gum Gum Giant. They would need, what, like 4 Dawn to commit onto Luffy Taro. I don't have any counter. He goes for it and he gets it. Very nice. Okay, so Gum Gum Giant, I have 3 characters to try to end with. And then whatever he draws from Sangoro. Oh no, he does draw with it. We get a Zoro, not Juro. 7 from Sanji. No counter. Okay, that would have killed us. We had to take every single one of these. Get my own Gum Gum Giant. So I do have to go for game here. Do 9 at lead, copy Taro. He'll Gum Gum Giant this. Then I split these 2 and then hope for the best. 9, 10. Yep. So 9. Takes it. Go all in because 1 Gum Gum Giant's not going to save me. Hey, we got it! He got brick 2. Yeah, just aggro down the purple Luffy. Okay, we get a rematch. That's good, right? Kaido's good. It pops their Sangoros and stuff. We'll pass. Okay, they play Law. I wish I had one. Finds a Juro. We will play Zoro. Return 2 Dawn and then get it back. Then swing 7 at leader, they will take it. Or they took it. Okay, we'll pass. 5 at us. I think we can take 1. Yeah, we'll take 1 because I want to play Frankie out next turn, or potentially find a Sanji, but I didn't. They're up to 5, maybe Kid. Yeah, no Sanji either. Okay, so it's Frankie turn. Frankly, this is the turn that I'm stuck with. Next turn, I won't Kaido just yet. Maybe I get rid of Sanji? No, I'm gonna play that next turn, so we'll get rid of Beppo. Gain. I can Zoro. It doesn't ramp for me, but I can get 1 active Dawn afterwards. Just have more characters out. So I go to 8 next turn. Yeah, we'll do that. Zoro, return 1 Dawn and just get it back. We'll do 5 at lead. Counters 1 and 6 at lead. Block counter 1. Counters 2. Okay, we'll pass. We don't know if he has Taro, but it's pretty likely that he does have it. So 5 into Zoro, you got it. Yeah, Taro into Juro, and then he'll get an active Dawn back. He could attack for 7, I guess. He gets a Usohachi. That's not good for me. Okay, 7 with the blocker will blocking the blocker. So we can replay it with the geckos we got. So Frankie Beppo sounds good. Play out Gecko into Frankie Bep. -2 Dawn. We'll get rid of Sanji at this point. Activate Beppo, buff leader, gain Dawn. Okay, so I can do 6/6. Do I try to starve the kid by attacking the kid? Do 5 at lead. I think I do have to Gum Giant, right? So I'll go down to 6. Next turn I'll go back to 8. I can play Gecko again. That's fine. Yeah. We'll do 6 at lead. So the counter Zoro hit for 1k, by the way. So the counter our leader hit for 2. We'll pass. I don't know. I have a Frankie out. Maybe I don't even need Gum Giant. Okay, so they kill my Beppo with their Law. That's not nice. He's your crewmate. 5 at my Zoro. Sure. 6 at me. Or not. 7 at me. I mean, if I don't Gum Giant, I can go for a Kaido play next turn. So I'll just counter this for 3. If Taro attacks, I block with Frankie. If I don't have to Gum Giant, that's fine. 9k? Yeah, I guess we'll just block. Because that's awkward for our Gum Giant. Then he plays another Taro. He does. And then he can attack with Kid for 7, I guess. So I'm going to pop it with Kaido anyway, if he doesn't attack with it. Or it could be for Gum Giant. Right? Now, do I kill Songoro? I don't think I want Songoro to live. I think I kill Songoro here. Yeah. Pop Songoro. Gain some Dawn back. So we'll do 10 into Juro. Taro? 10 into Taro, burn their Gum Giant. Or block. Then we have another 10 at him. We counter it at a hand. Okay. So maybe this Luffy Taro will live after all. Oh, he can't Gum Giant because he has no card to discard. So he does block with the kid here, and I can attack leader for 5. We'll take. Yep. We'll pass with Dawn up for Gum Giant, which will set me at 7 Dawn next turn, so I can't Gecko. So if I can avoid it, I don't want to Gum Giant, but I think I may have to. 6 at us will counter 2. Yeah, it's looking like I have to. 5 at us will counter 2. If he's doing minimum attacks, okay, he attached Dawn. So 10 at Kaido. If I Gum Giant, get 2 cards. Then he need to commit 2 more Dawn at least. That's fine. So we will Gum Giant here. Buff. And I get 1k counter. Dang it, that's not good. At least I can play out the Frankie. So he needs at least 3 Dawn. Okay, 2 I can stop. So my Kaido is safe. He's gonna play like a blocker, a single blocker. I have nothing to play next turn though. Plays Law, okay. Law into Kid or something. Finds a Usohachi. Yeah, the thing is I can't play either of these 2 cards because I'm at 7 next turn. does play a Mr. 2 with 1 Dawn up. So play Law. I find nothing I can play. We'll take the 2k counter. 7 Dawn, he's at 10. So I can play him out for 3. Is that what I want to do? I guess. Do 10 at Taro. He dies. Okay, so he doesn't have a Gungam Giant, I guess. 10 at Taro. He dies. Maybe he has nothing at all. 7 at Juro. Do I even want to play out the Sanji? Maybe I should have just attacked for like 10 here. Yeah, he did counter. If I play out the Sanji, I guess he has no way to like kill it, right? Sanji out. Pass. Right, because Usohachi cannot tap him. And then he's a 7 cost, so the Sanji can't, right? What does he do? Or no. I don't have him. Still read. Oh yeah, I did have him. Hold on 1 second. 6 cost, yeah. So he does 10k into Kaido. I actually cannot stop that. If I block though, he needs to commit like 4 Dawn to Zoro. But he knows I don't have counter right now. Because of that. So 4 Dawn Zoro, and then he has 6 Dawn left. Oh, he does play this Luffy? Okay, that kills him too. Kills my Kaido. Then... Huh, so my Law kills Mr. 2. Zoro hits me for 6, I take. Leader hits me for 5. Counter 1. Okay, so I think he has a Gungam Giant, or he's hoping to get it from life. I'll do 2 at Mr. 2. He dies. I think it's a Gecko angle. And stall. So 9 at Zorojuro. He dies. Gecko out into Frankie and Law? Yeah. Law first for some reason. I don't know why. Take Usohachi. And we'll discard Kaido after playing the Frankie out. Okay, get another Frankie. We'll leave 1 Dawn up in case we get a Gungam Giant too. 6 at lead. He takes. Okay, we'll pass. I think we win this no matter what. I hope. Yeah, the Gecko diff, man. I can get blockers out of nowhere. Ooh, 9 Mom. That helps them actually. They can heal and then get rid of my blocker, I guess. Yep. Okay, so 10 at my Gecko? I can save him now. I have counter, finally. I might have to go for like a 10 cost Luffy play. So 5 at my Law, sure. And then 11 at Gecko. We'll counter 3. Yeah, we have it for sure if we can have a Luffy turn here. So we'll do 9 lead. He has no Dawn up too. Takes 9 lead. Takes, we'll play 10 cost Luffy, return everything. Get 2 back. Then ramp, and then 6. Counters 1, we'll take our second turn. Ramp. We'll put everything onto Luffy to attack. 17 per game. We got it. Okay, bye. We have Nika versus Shanks. We'll go, how about first? Yeah. Ooh, mulligan. Ooh, yeah, it's good. Good enough. Play Law. Take a Pepper. That's all we can take. We'll pass. Because I learned you can search Pepper with Law. Okay, they play Uta. Yeah, I thought he was just good because you can give your leader plus 1k and you can play out with Gecko Moria, but he's also searchable by Law. It's pretty cool. Okay, another Uther. That one whiffed, so they have a Yasop in hand that we know for sure. That'll buff him to 6k next turn. So try to hit him this turn. We'll play Zoro out, ramp. Wait, I guess we could play out the Pepper. Nah. We'll make him take a life. I guess he could leader ability counter too, but he don't do that. And he's not at Dawn for Yasop yet, but it could be a Lucky Roo. Oh, poo, it's a Lucky Roo. 5 at us. We'll take it. Okay, we get Gecko. That's good. I just need a Frankie at some point. So play Mr. 2, I get 3 Dawn. So I can do like 6 with this guy. I want to entice him to Lucky Roo kill my Zoro. He does leader ability here. Dang, it might be that my Mr. 2 is going to die to the Lucky Roo. I mean, that's okay. Because I just want the ramp. Ramp. 7, he blocks. Kills my Mr. 2. Boohoo, bye-bye. We hit 9 next turn. If I top deck a Kaido, that'd be pretty sweet because I could kill the Yasop with it. Then he wouldn't be able to deal with my board. for a while. So I do want to counter with the Beppo, right? Oh, he attacks with the Uta. I guess that's a good excuse to counter with Beppo here. So I can bring back Mr. 2 Beppo. I want like a Dawn minus effect though. Another 5 at Zoro. Counter... Oh, he's not gonna play the Yasop out? What the heck? We'll counter 1 there. And then 5 from leader. Protect them again. Another Beppo. That was weird. Okay, 2 at Uta. 2 at Uta, Tuta. Oh, leader ability. Okay. That means these hits at the leader are going to be a lot more strong. So he's at what? 8 Dawn. Next turn, I can play out the Mr. 2, right? I think that's worth. So 5 at lead. No leader ability for you, so takes it. Play Gecko into 2 and Beppo. Then we do 7 at lead. That he has to counter 3 or take. Take it. We'll pass it. So yeah, if you play something big... Oh, if it's a Rayleigh, then yeah, that just kills Mr. 2. But barring that, I can copy the power. Okay, Rayleigh kills my Mr. 2. He keeps dying on me. My Beppo is 0 power. My Zoro is 2 power. Sure, you got it. Kill my Beppis too. My Beppis. And then it kills my other Law. Alright, top deck me my late game. Nope, I get my defense. So I'll Law search my late game. Nope. No, I can't kill anything with this Sanji. I have Frankie though. Frankly, I'm gonna play this Frankie. Return to Dawn. Trash Sanji. Gain some stuff back. We'll play Law. Another Frankie, I guess. Yeah. Do I need Dawn up for Gungam Giant? Not really. Do 6 at leader. The leader ability counter 1. Then we'll do 9 at leader. He goes to 1. Yeah, we'll play another Frankie out. Return to Dawn. What do I discard here? Probably this 2k. We'll pass. Ooh, we have late game galore for next turn. He's gonna play like what, a Shanks? Lucky Root, okay. And then a Rayleigh, okay. So 2 blockers. They do 6 at us. So I can tap a blocker if I play Kaido. 10 Dawn, I get 2 active Dawn, so I cannot Uso Hutch. So might as well block, counter this. I mean, not block. 8 from Rayleigh will block that one. Ooh, Gecko Moria, that's good. Okay, so if Lukaru is gonna kill my Frankie anyway, we'll attack 5. Leader abilities, okay, so I don't have to worry about that anymore. Gecko 9 at lead. Lucky Root blocks, kills my Frankie, we'll play out Gecko. Or, no. Or, no, Gecko. Frankie and Beppo or Law? I'm thinking Law. Law first. Take another Frankie. Then we'll discard, I guess, the Kaido. Returning 2 Dawn first. Okay, we have 3 Dawn to work with. I mean, I guess it's 7 from lead. He blocks, counters 2, we'll pass. So you have Gungam Giant, and we'll go to 10 next turn to 10 cost Luffy with 2 Geckos being able to attack. Hopefully that's enough. Okay, they do play Building Snake, so they're able to kill 1 Gecko, it looks like. But Beckman pops him and drops him. I might not even block with the Frankie, because I'm going to go for the 10 cost Luffy play. So 2 at 2, sure. I guess, yeah, I could always Gungam Giant too. Right, so I don't need to block at all. 7 at us, we'll take that one. And 8 at us. Yep. We'll Gum Giant. Discard that, buff that, and draw that. Okay. If I Sanji, then that's safer, maybe. Is it? Because if I attack, he blocks, then I can do 12 next turn, plus 9 from my leader. If I kill this Sanji, I can do 9 and then 10. Yeah, I guess we'll do that. We'll save Luffy for next turn. Down leader, play out Sanji, pop the Rayleigh. We'll just do 9 at lead. Okay, he does leader ability, then counter 4 for 3 cards. That's a good sign. Maybe I can even get away with playing out a Frankie here. 6 at lead. Right, and now we even have Dawn up for Gum Gum Giant. I took that. Should I go 9 with Frankie? I kind of wanna. Yeah. 9 Frankie, because he countered with 3 cards, right? So he should not have any counter. I hope. He does run quite a lot of bricks. Okay, he did. Only a 1k counter. Thank you, Franker. Bye.
Car D Kaizoku.